welcome back. Thank you for clicking on the video. Today we're going to use some supplies from the sponsor Orchid Supply Store to repot the Hibiki that I got from Brookside Orchids a few weeks ago. And you'll see why in the video. But if you'd like to get 12% off of your order, be sure to go to orchidsupplystore.com. Use the coupon code TRISH at checkout and get 12% off of everything. Let's go see what this lady looks like. We have everything that we need. We have our Fiskars, which have been sterilized. I have my slow release Osmocote, which I'm hoping to remember to put in before I get done. A lot of times I remember after and I have to put it in after. And of course we have our Dendrobium Hibiki. And let me just show you the roots on this and then you're going to understand what I'm going to tell you next. Look at those beautiful roots. I mean, she is just blooming with the roots. And you see how these right here were going around the top of the pot? Well, it is because they didn't have room to go down into this 3-inch pot. They were just circling around the rim. So when I tried to get her out, and I should have filmed it, it was really funny. I soaked her for 30 minutes in some water, some CalMag, and some seaweed, and used my little name tag thing here and, you know, went around the edges like I do. Tried to get her out and it was like, nope, I'm not going anywhere. So I soaked her for another 30 minutes in CalMag and seaweed and still she didn't want to come out. So I left her soaking for an hour and a half and finally I was able to get the tag to loosen all of the roots that were circling around here as well as inside the pot. And then I held her by the base and I just kind of gently jiggled the pot off, which took another about 10 minutes to do it. It was funny. I was a little frustrated. I said some things I probably shouldn't have said, but she did get out and she got out in one piece. I put a little bit of bark already down here at the bottom. I did mix in, so as I showed you at the beginning, this is the medium New Zealand bark and perlite and then the tree fern. And the tree fern I've added in hoping to retain a little bit of more moisture so that I'm not having to water her every day for 30 minutes soaks. Now, let's just look at Miss Hibiki here. So she has, I believe, a total of 7 growths on here. So this one is finishing off and this one is finishing off. But she has 1, and then she's got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then she has a keiki right here that does not have any roots on it, so it is still on there. And the reason I say it is still on there is because she did have some other keikis that had roots and they were about yay long, so I was like, I have the mama plant, so let me see what I can do with keikis. So I have potted up 3 of her keikis already. So this large one and then this one right next to it are actually connected. So I did take them off together and they, like I said, each had their own set of roots, and then this little small one right here that you can barely see in there is by itself. So I did kind of just put them all in the middle, hoping that she'll spread out. And I have a little rock right here to kind of help hold her steady. And let's just look, we have roots. We have roots that are extending. That is beautiful. Now this is the same mix minus the tree fern. I don't know why I didn't add it in. I didn't think about it at the time. But because I can see the roots, it'll let me know when I need to water her. And with them being keikis, I will make sure that this doesn't dry out for too long. As soon as I notice that this green is starting to turn a little more white, I will water her. Now I also have the pebbles and rocks at the bottom like I like to do, and I do keep a little bit of water, just enough to create a little bit of humidity around the bottom for that root protection. And I did that about 5 days after I got her, so it's been in that setup about 2 weeks, so not too shabby. Now, anyone who watches Plant Lovers, Matthew down there in Melbourne, he uses microfiber fungi. I know I'm chopping up the first part. So I thought I would add a little bit to this mix. So I'm just going to take a little bit, about that much, And we'll just sprinkle it down here at the bottom. So it is supposed to create a good environment for your orchid roots. Well, your plant roots in general, but I'm using it for the orchids, so I'm saying orchid roots. So let's get her positioned into this pot, and I'm just gonna set her right in the middle, and I'm hoping that those roots will find their way in. So as you can see, she's got plenty of room to kind of grow, hopefully in here where I don't have to take her out again for at least another year or so, and try to tuck as many of these roots in as possible. And for those of you who are wondering, no, I'm not taking any of the media that she had around her off because it's still good. So I'm not going to mess too much with loosening her or anything like that. I really think though, guys, I might need a bigger pot because these roots are just barely down and she's just barely in this pot. So unprepared as I am at times, I'll be right back. Okay, so the next size up is going to be a 5-inch. So we're going to have to put her in a 5-inch. I did go ahead and add some more of the bark perlite and tree fern because, you know, bigger pot, more media. And we are just going to take what we have here and dump it in there this way. And then I'm just going to kind of shake it so any of the smaller pieces go ahead and fall out. Now, go. All right, let's see how she looks in there. So she's going into a pot 2 sizes up from what she was in. A little bit more at the bottom. She was sitting a little bit too low. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like that much better. I know right now she looks really small in there, but I think over time she is going to eat la pot. And with it being this one, it'll help hold in the moisture a little more too because it doesn't have the slots in there, but I really liked this one. And when I water, I'm going to dip this in the water to get all of that fungi in there as well so I don't waste it. All right, well, I will get this potted and we'll be right back. Now, when you are potting, make sure, especially if you want to keep it in the middle, that as you're going, I like to go around initially, kind of in that circle to kind of position it where I want it so that it doesn't lean from one side to the other. And that'll help kind of keep it where you want it. Whereas if you do just one side and then go around, you'll notice it leans. And I am just gently holding it, and I'm gently just kind of pushing that media down just to make sure there's not a lot of air pockets in there to keep her moisturized. Too many air pockets, she might dry out on me a little too quickly. So that is the whole purpose of repotting her right now, is because she was drying out much quicker than I could keep up with her watering. And Nina says Nina from Ninja Orchid says that this is a drinker. Believe her, because it is. Anyone who has the Hibiki, do you find that same experience, that it's a quite thirsty little orchid? All right, keep pushing her down, keep pushing her down. And I've made sure to try to bury all those roots that were wrapping around the edge because they weren't aerial. They were actually in the pot trying to go down. They just couldn't because there was just so many roots in the pot that it had just taken over the edges, and the poor little new roots couldn't get down in there. There we go. All right, I'm very happy with that. Probably could have just used the media I already had, but that's all right. I can use that mix for something else, I'm sure. We always can find something. So there she is in the middle. And as you can see, her blooms are starting to go over. I've already lost one. But now I'm going to soak her for about 15 minutes just to get that media nice and dampened in there so that she doesn't dry out. And like I said, I will run the water through this so that I can get that microbial fungi in there. I said it and now I can't say it again. And what did I forget to do? Osmocote. Let me do that real quick. So I've got about that many And what I'll do is I'll spread them around here and just kind of go around in a circle here. I can get them all out of in between my fingers there. There we go. And then we'll just sprinkle it in, and then I will just take and just wiggle and get it to fall down. And then as I water, it'll also kind of go down into the pot. So far, so good. All right, I will put the date on here, and we will watch her grow and bloom again. And the cool thing about this, from what I've read, researched, and seen, this can bloom at any time of the year. Their main bloom time, I believe, is late summer, early fall. Not 100% sure on that, but either way it goes, I'm looking forward to these blooms to come out again. Hopefully they will reward me, especially now that I've given her room to grow those roots. I didn't see any on the outside that I do like to do, but a lot of that has to do with I didn't loosen up any of the media that was already in there. Well, guys, let me know if you have the Hibiki. How do you grow it? Do you find it to be a drinker like I have found? Or could it have been because it was in this small pot, root bound, and I might have messed up putting it in a bigger pot? I don't think I have, because I will control the water. And as I am going into our winter and our heat is coming on, she will enjoy some warmth, which will also dry these pots out a little bit quicker. I find in the winter I have to water more than I do in the summer, because in the summer with the windows open and or the AC on, the pots don't dry out as quickly, whereas in the winter when the heat is on, even and the airflow, these babies dry out so much quicker. Not just the Hibiki, but my pots in general. Let me know if you find that same experience if you grow at home inside. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Don't forget to go to orchidsupply.com. Use the coupon code TRISH, T-R-I-S-H, at checkout. Get your 12% discount on anything that you want to buy. Orchids, orchid supplies, clips, trellises, you name it, they got it. Go check them out, guys. See you next time.